Okay, I'm natural, right? Alright, I didn't even go past second base. Alright, now I'm on steroids. Ooh, that's a home run. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about steroids, and there are 3 different types of steroids that we all use in this world today. And there's corticosteroids, androgenic steroids, and anabolic steroids. But today I'll be focusing on anabolic steroids and how they're involved in sports. I became interested in this topic because during all my life, I've been going to the gym for about 3 years now, and the topic of anabolic steroids continuously came up at the gym because people do use steroids at the gym. So I would hear about anabolic steroids and I'd go home and I'd do some research of my own, and I slowly gained knowledge of what anabolic steroids are, and I feel I've gained enough knowledge to present you guys a well put together speech. So throughout this speech, I will be discussing what anabolic steroids are, how an athlete is affected positively from them, and what we can do to get anabolic steroids allowed in sports. So what are steroids, first off? There's quite a few nicknames for steroids. Some people call them roids, gear, juice, and steroids can either be taken orally or by injection, and sometimes even people use patches, but those aren't as popular as oral or injection. And steroids are based off of the androgen testosterone, and what testosterone does is create protein synthesis in your body, which then creates protein. So pretty much in short terms, anabolic steroids help you recover faster and help you with your physical activity so you perform better. But the cool thing about steroids is that they're not only taken by athletes, they're also taken by people who the NIH stated in their website that anabolic steroids treat hormonal issues and even people with muscle loss diseases such as AIDS or cancer. But a lot of people are going to say, why would an athlete need to take steroids? Why not just stay natural? Well, like I said, anabolic steroids help you recover faster. So if an athlete is injured, this means they lose out on money from contracts, they lose out on money from sponsors, they can disappoint their fans, and even if, say, an athlete's sitting on the bench and a new star player comes in on the field, this can definitely be detrimental for them because they could risk getting replaced just overall. So with the use of anabolic steroids, if an athlete is injured, they can easily get back on the field faster and get money back into their pockets to support their family and to support themselves in general. And an article by the NIH, a different article, supports my statement when it showed that steroids may have an ethical clinical application in healing and severe muscle contusion injuries. So now I want to go into the brief history of steroids and how athletes are affected by it positively. So in 1954, during an Olympic weightlifting competition, the Soviet Olympic weightlifting team dominated all of the competition when just in the previous Olympic competition they did not do nearly as well. It was discovered that the Soviet Olympic weightlifting team was taking anabolic steroids, and steroids.com states that in all probability this was probably the first time anyone ever took steroids. From there, people gained knowledge on what steroids were, and the popularity of it took off, and a lot of athletes started to become leaner, bigger, stronger, more athletic, and the competition was better in sports. But with this popularity, records were being broken and medals were earned, and then people were being questioned because they were on steroids, so there was some controversy. And in 1998, during the, whatsteroids.com states that in 1998, during the Summer Olympics in Seoul, the sprinter and steroid user Ben Johnson received a controversial win. And then following this win, anabolic steroids were put on a controlled substance list. This gave anabolic steroids a bad name, but many people failed to realize that anabolic steroids are what made sports fun. In my opinion, baseball was not as popular as it was, and it was not as good before steroids. But then came in the heavy hitters. ESPN.go states that baseball didn't implement testing until 2003, which meant that athletes could use anabolic steroids. 2 famous people who played baseball were Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, and these 2 individuals set record-breaking home runs, and in 1998, Mark McGwire admitted that he was using steroids. That's just a buff guy. Another athlete whose name is Lance Armstrong, CelebrityNetwork.com states that he is worth $50 million. This proves that anabolic steroids do help people gain money and support themselves and their families. But the main point I'm up here is to talk to you guys about what we can do to get steroids allowed in sports. Well, I believe that with anabolic steroids, if we start a petition and we send we get votes, and we send these votes into the main sports organizations such as the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and all the other big organizations, we can kind of get their eyes open to what we feel would be right. But I don't think this will fully convince them. So I believe that if we talk to smaller sports organizations, we can get smaller sports organizations to get their athletes to use steroids. And with the smaller sports organizations, if they allow their athletes to use steroids, they can their athletes will slowly gain more popularity in those smaller sports organizations, and the bigger sports organizations will feel it as some type of competition, so then they'll allow their athletes to use steroids also. So that's what I feel would be best, to allow steroids in sports. And so today I talked to you guys about what steroids are, how they affect an athlete's life positively, and what we can do to get steroids allowed in sports. So if you guys think about it, when we go to the zoo, we don't go to look at the lemurs. We go to look at the lions, the tigers, and the bears. And I believe that says something about the sports we enjoy watching. So if you guys think that steroids should not be allowed in sports, then I hope you enjoy watching lemurs toss balls back and forth. Thank you.